The venue may change, but the game will stay the same here as the Cal U Vulcans shift over to the Convocation Center for a non-conference matchup against the Wheeling Cardinals. Colin Kirkwood and Nate Kurtz with you here courtside. Nate, should have a good one between these two, and there's a lot to discuss before we get into this one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, last time you saw the Vulcans, they were playing against Chestnut Hill and Hamer Hall, which definitely a change of venue. Don't see them play there much anymore, but it was a good game between the two. I mean, it was a tight contest for the first few minutes, but then the Vulcans started to run away with it. And now you see in the national rankings, the Vulcans move up to number 13 in the nation, just proving how good this team is.
That was an 89-50 win over Chestnut Hill on Sunday over at Hamer Hall just across the way here. Vulcans 7-0 coming into this matchup here after getting that big win. Over on the opposite side for the Wheeling Cardinals, they come in with a surprising result last time out for themselves as they took on Charleston, and that's a team that is expected to definitely outweigh Wheeling by a lot here, but an 81-80 upset win for the Cardinals at home over the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, and you think they carry some of that momentum into this game. I mean, playing a team like the Vulcans who have had a lights-out start to the season starting 7-0, you'd think maybe they have a bit of an energetic chance here to come out of the gates and bring some power into this matchup, but it's going to be tough. You have, as he was just announced, Jermaine Hall recently scoring his 1,000th point against Shepherd University here, so if you're the Vulcans, you're hoping he gets off to an energetic start and holds these Wheeling Cardinals off.
It's a Wheeling Cardinals side 4-5 coming into action this evening, 2-3 in Mountain East Conference play. Getting themselves right back in the right spot here before both of these teams get ready for that holiday break coming eventually here. Still a couple more games left on the slate for this Vulcan side coming up here. I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit later on as this one goes here. But why don't we take a look at the starters for both of these sides here, Nate, starting with the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals are starting their normal starters. There's a few exceptions. Marcus Johnson, number 25. William Gabbert, number 21. Alex Smith, number 5. Kevin Coleman, number 3. And Sean Ely, number 1.
Over on the opposite side, let's see what the Vulcans will bring to the floor, 13th in all the land this evening.
The Vulcans are bringing out their normal starting lineup of Jermaine Hall Jr., number 0, Bryson Lucas, number 2, Zion Collins, number 3, KJ McClurg, number 5, and the return of DJ Slaughter, number 15.
Getting set here, pretty same color palette between these two. Vulcan Nation taking the floor in their home whites with the Vulcan word mark across the chest and the red letters. Black trim down the sides. The Wheeling Cardinals, black look here. That'll be red numbers and red lettering. Old school look here. Piping around the sleeves and the shorts. One up here. Cardinals on the way up the floor with it. We are underway here on a Wednesday evening from the Convocation Center. First time this season, might I add.
Yep, this is the first time you're seeing those new Vulcan uniforms out here on the Convocation Center. You saw them in Hamer Hall on Sunday, and now you get to see them here.
Cardinals taking it inside here early, looking to turn and able to drop that one quickly here. That's big Marcus Johnson, the 6'7 junior out of Akron.
Yeah, and that's somebody you immediately need to target if you're the Vulcans. On the offensive side of the ball, you know they're going to feed it down to him in the post. That big body's easily going to be able to back down anybody.
I think you're going to see plenty of mismatches in that regard here. Vulcans looking for their answer early. Can't get there from Jermaine Hall, and couldn't quite get a hold of that over there on the far side. That was Zion Collins fighting after that.
Yeah, and a smart play by DJ Slaughter. Knows he can't get in the rebound, just a little too short, but he's trying to kick it back out to Zion Collins. Not able to grab a hold of it. Ball turned back over to the Cardinals.
They'll try to work the near side of the floor here, trying to feed back inside. I think you're going to see that as the game plan here. Looks like a foul in the meantime.
Yeah, and Bryson Lucas not too happy about that one. Didn't think he got the hands on Coleman, but referee thought so, and that's going to be the first foul of the game here against Bryson Lucas.
Sean Ely looking to re-inbound this one. Off the roll. Good-looking chance here. Immediately off the rip. Can't finish it.
Yeah, very smart play there on the side of the Cardinals, just easily trying to get that shot in there.
Jermaine Hall, 3 on that far side. Not quite the touch he was looking for there to get things started. Back the other way we go. Ellie again. He'll try to work his matchup, and once again, right back over to Big Johnson. And there he goes once again, dropping in a pretty good look over there from that far side.
Yeah, and Bryson Lucas did everything right there. It's just the size mismatch. MJ's just a little too big there for Bryson.
Vulcans trying to find a way to open things up here. Still trying to get the cap off that basket early, rumbling their way inside. Looks like that one's going to count here. Wasn't sure if it would.
And that's the magic of KJ McClurg. We've been calling him the Magic Man, me and John, for a reason. He's able to get himself easily down within that paint and draw those fouls, and formerly leading the PSAC in scoring. Now he's fourth. He's a versatile player on both ends of the floor.
The 80% shooter McClurg drops that one home as it rattles around a bit. Back to a 1-point game here. Ellie again surveying the floor, trying to call things out, looking for some motion, rotating through. Lots of ball movement here, calling for a screen. Maybe that'll get something loose here. Ellie on the way inside, good-looking spin, blocked away.
Yeah, and there was great ball movement on the side of Wheeling. They're getting the Vulcans to move around, try and mismatch them, confuse their defense. And for the most part, it's working. They've been trying to feed MJ down in the post as well.
Cardinal ball here, flicked back in play. Looking for space, not much time to work with here. Loose ball on the floor, tied up, fought for. Thumbs up. I think that should be Vulcan ball off the tie-up.
Yeah, and Gabbert tries to get a little too fancy with it, loses it in between his legs, and that's a jump ball going on the side of the Vulcans, and a nice block from Zion Collins as well before that sequence to get them back in the defensive end.
Here comes Slaughter up the floor. He'll cross midcourt and dishing that one off. A couple of good touches here to get this possession underway. Out and around they work the perimeter here. Thought about a three perhaps. That one blocked away. Good hands there from the Cardinal side.
Yeah, and the Vulcans again trying to match that speed and that tenacity that the Cardinals have been
Loose
trying.
Ball again around midcourt. Everyone just falling on top of it here. Cardinals trying to do something with it here, and everyone tied up on top of this one, and finally play comes to a halt here. Look at that, really fighting for it out here.
Yeah, and that's the energy that Coach Sankum and his team brings here. That's one of the captains of this team, Jermaine Hall Jr., getting tied up in there, the veteran of this team. I know he was here when you were here, and I feel like ever since he's come to this program, he's brought that energy since day one.
Three coming here off the side, brought down. Vulcans back the other way. Trying to go straight up with this one here, bodying for space. Kicked back out, not a bad option here. Rolling right inside and left it just a bit high.
And that was a very smart play by Bryson. He was expecting Jermaine Hall, it looks like, to try and get that rebound and go for the putback, but just not happens.
Three coming. Big man dropping it home from the far side. He can really do it all, huh?
He can, yeah. And from the times I have watched Marcus Johnson play, he can be anywhere on the floor scoring. And that's why if you're the Vulcans, you need to make sure you target him down and not give him those open chances.
Into the near side, thought about a three. Stepping in close towards the elbow off the roll. Here comes Hall with it. Step back, looking for it just beyond the free throw line, and can't get a hold of that one either. Tough start here early. Here's Ellie with it. Working down low perhaps this time. That's Kevin Coleman. Toss over to the far side. Not a bad find there. That one's off. Coleman chasing after it. He's got it. Looks like a foul here in the meantime. Got tied up over there fighting for that one under the basket.
Yeah, and early on, that's going to be Bryson Lucas's second foul now at the game as Antoine Arnett, number 23, is going to see his first action. Red-shirted freshman here who had himself a bit of a game last time they played on Sunday. He was definitely impressing with 6 points, 5 rebounds, and shooting 66% from the field.
Back to action here with the Cardinals. Johnson working on Hall. He'll pull up, let this one fly, drops it again. And he's now 4-4 from the field.
It's the clean shot, and the Vulcans are trying to do everything they can defensively, but again, it's just the big body and the height of Marcus Johnson.
Three coming from the near side, off again, punched around. Here come the Cardinals with it. Tried to fill the lane there, pulling up for a three and knocking it down, and I think a timeout's definitely needed here.
And what a surprising start. I mean, I expected energy coming out of the gates here, but the Vulcans definitely lacking in the offensive side of the ball.
An immediate timeout here, so we'll quickly step aside when we come back. More action for you right here on the PSAC Network.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference ranking. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games. Follow CalVulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. We play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting.
Welcome back here. Hot start for the Cardinals to get things open here early. Colin Kirkwood and Nate Kurtz with you here. And Nate, these high-flying Cardinals feeling it after that upset win on Saturday over Charleston, and they're bringing that momentum into this one.
Absolutely. Already shooting 2 for 3 from the three-point line. Marcus Johnson already going off here as he's already scored a very smooth and silky 9 points. They're almost 5 minutes into the quarter.
4 of 4 from the field as well. They're not easy shots either.
No, he's been getting these contested shots in, and the Vulcans have been doing everything right on the defensive side of the ball. Their struggle has been the offense. They've just been a little too fast with their ball movement. And as
it almost cost them there again.
A little too sloppy.
They'll try to attack inside with it here. Roll off for Hall. Almost lost it. Pump fake. Drops it home.
And that's the one player you want scoring too. Jermaine Hall is definitely an energy player. You get him energized and scoring, you have a good chance to stay in this game early on.
Back with the Cardinals again here as they work their way around, looking at Johnson. He's got the footing for a matchup, rolls over. They'll try a 3 this time. And the Cardinals, again, just can't seem to miss.
Yeah, no, they're definitely using the three-point line to their advantage. Silky shot.
Foul here. In the midst of an 11-2 Cardinal run.
And that's Zion Collins. And there's one guy I want at the free throw line. It's definitely Zion Collins. He's been out of himself. Good of a return year here, averaging 14 points per game, 4 rebounds, and nearly 3 assists. He's also shooting 61% from the line.
First one pops out there. Want to get that average up a little bit more, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I kind of jinxed him there, didn't I?
Don't worry, there's always a second one for a reason. Most of the time. That one, dropping in there.
And there we go. Okay, so I didn't jinx him too hard.
You can always live with 50%. Not a bad thing.
No, it means you get one chance at 2.
Back around the blocks, they come with it here to the Cardinals. And for space to attack with it, rolled off again. Beating the big matchup, and look at the backhand fling over there to drop that in.
And an absolutely beautiful pass there.
I'm not sure if that was the way they intended that one to break down there, or just a lucky break to be able to get that behind the back to a place where you can finish it.
Yeah, and it's what the Vulcans were doing against Chestnut Hill on Sunday. They were taking advantage of the post play and the lack of it from the side of the Griffins, but now you see a very different game here against the Cardinals.
Good looking take on the inside there. Hop, step, and a jump, and Hall lays that in for a pair.
Yeah, and now they're scoring now. This is an important part of the Vulcan offense is momentum. If they keep scoring, they have a good chance to stay in this game and put that deficit back down.
Johnson back inside working on Hall again. He'll turn and shoot. And he just got the mismatch here. That's plain and simple what you're seeing so far in this one. He's got about maybe 2 or 3 inches height-wise here, and he's working it.
Yeah, and he's using his big body again to his advantage as Jermaine Hall goes again for that three-pointer.
Might not have been the way they were looking for there. Coach Sandcombe looking for a bit more ball movement here. Open 3, left all alone and able to drop it home.
Yeah, and defensive mismatch, and Coach Sandcombe definitely not happy with this one. DJ Slaughter gets lost within the communication and the ball movement, and you can see here now that the Wheeling bench is absolutely electric.
They're locked in. 3 coming. Vulcans this time. Good answer there from McClurg.
Yeah, and again, that's another player you want scoring. KJ McClurg has absolutely tore it up this season, 22 points per game. Nearly playing the entire game, too, averaging 38 minutes as well. He's one guy you don't want energized.
Back over to Johnson again. Swings it around. 3 coming. Bit of a long one here. It doesn't seem to matter the way these continue to fall in there.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are absolutely not missing. I was saying they were 2 for 3 earlier. They are now 5 for 6, 10 for 14 from the field.
What a way to open things up here, taking it right up to the doorstep and laying that one in there.
That's what he's been known for, is getting that ball in the post and scoring there from his hooks.
Almost had a breakaway there, ends up backing around. They'll try another three, and why not? They can't seem to miss, and once again, just like we said, finds its way through.
I mean, the Vulcans have no way of stopping this right now. Their players are absolutely electrified. I mean, first that win against Charleston, and now they're looking at the number 13th ranked team here, and they're looking
This would be a big win for them.
Oh, it'd be an absolutely big win. This is a national title contending team.
Tried to swing back out for Hall. He'll catch and shoot a three. Off again. Batted up. Not sure which way this is going to go.
Now, and absolutely the ball is not falling here for Jermaine Hall. He's been struggling a bit already. 2 for 7 from the field.
A couple of subs here for the Cardinals. Vulcan ball over there on the far side of the floor. Quick catch and shoot to get things going. Still can't hit. Scooting inside, able to lay that in for a pair. Just trying to chip away here.
And even with the hands of big Marcus Johnson, still not able to stop Arnett. The redshirted freshman getting in there dirty for the 2 points.
Johnson feeds inside. T. Harris Jr. turning and laying that in. That's number 4.
And very early on, Cardinals already up to a 15-point lead.
Once again, cutting inside there and just floating that one home. Getting some answers here, but you got to start building a bit more.
Yeah, they do. They were off to that very sloppy and fast ball movement that was working for Wheeling, and they're still trying to rely on that three-point game.
3 coming again and knocking it down again. And I can just see the shock on your face right now. You can't believe what you're seeing.
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is insane. They are 7 for 8 from the three-point line. That is absolutely
Talk about hot starts.
Oh, it's hotter than hot.
Inferno start here, as there's another answer for the Vulcans, but they're going to have to find a way to cool down the Cardinals from 3.
And the concerning thing here is usually Coach Sankum is absolutely fired up and screaming his head off, but now he's quiet and calm, and that's usually a sign of bad things to come.
Here's Johnson with it, once again feeding inside, looking to turn and shoot perhaps. Good hesitation there. Oh, popped right back out Plinko style. Second chance, knocking it around. Back up, third chance coming this time. Still can't get it. Maybe fourth time's the charm. No, not that time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count them. Can't knock them down.
Yeah, but good job on the Vulcan defense there, analyzing and seeing they were going for the post play.
And there's Collins with an answer. It's going to be a tough one to work back into early here, but definitely a team that's up to the challenge would be one that's 13th in the country for a reason.
Absolutely, and the last time they faced off here against the Cardinals was at the West Lib Invitationals. Murray goes in for the layup, and at that Invitational, the Vulcans had a very solid and very confirming win against them, but this time around, seems to go more in favor as Caden Hanna's now at the scorers table looking to sub in.
You spoke of that last year. That was 82-73, the win for Cal U a season ago.
And I remember myself and good buddies Michael Robinson and John Sape all went to go watch that game, and it was very convincing too, where we got to see the debut of KJ McClure and this new lineup that we're mostly seeing here now.
Johnson again fires away, and the banks are even open here. Can't seem to miss.
And that almost Nikola Jokic low-effort jump shot, absolutely nothing behind it.
Just using the size, you know?
Cannot miss here tonight.
Collins for 3. Off the side.
And I feel like it's a tale of two cities here as the Vulcans 1 for 6 from the three-point line.
3 coming again, and why not? They just cannot seem to miss again here. And at some point, you have to think that maybe the law of average is going to catch up here at some point, and some of these are either going to be a bit short, they're going to bounce left or right. At least that's what we hope, right?
I mean, yeah, if you're the Vulcans, you have to pray, because right now the Cardinals are off to a 9-10 start from the three-point line. From the field goal percentages alone, shooting 66% here as we're halfway through this first as the Cardinals lead 41-23.
One of the hotter starts I think I've seen in this basketball season so far, and probably in the past couple of seasons that I've been around the game myself.
Absolutely. I know I've mostly been watching the women's games here as our men's teams have been traveling away for the most part. This is their second game home after Sunday, but
think about that. 6 games in a row on the road to open up your season. Talking about trying to cut your teeth here early and get ready.
Absolutely. Didn't stop them, though. I mean, most of their wins were nice and convincing. A little bit of trouble against Millersville and Shepherd, but at the end of the day, they were still ended up 7-0. But
to be fair here, that's tough. Back-to-back games like that over on the opposite side of the state, that's not an easy trip.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't have to travel. I wouldn't want to travel to Maryland if I didn't have to, but these guys had to, and they made it worth their while.
Once upon a time, we used to take trips just like that, year in, year out, right here on CUTV.
I cannot say the same. I have traveled as far as Erie in this year and a half I've been here.
There's more time coming. Don't you worry.
I'll get on our good friend Jonathan Sakaguchi's arc here and see how long I can draw it out.
Vulcans with the ball here to open things up out of this timeout. About 9 minutes left to play here in the first half. Might have to start stacking together possessions here early. Really lock it in on defense. We'll see what they choose to do first. Tough look there as that one pops out, chasing after it. And back the other way it goes.
One of the noteworthy things is the Vulcans last year were one of the strongest rebounding teams in the PSAC. This year, ranking 13th in both offensive and defensive rebounds, struggling in both departments as even though they've increased in size, it seems as though everyone else has caught up to them.
This is going to be a fiercely competitive western side of this conference this year, without a doubt. Turnover, heading the other way. Tried to feed that forward here. Loose ball. Out and around they work. Hall steps back for three. He just can't seem to buy one right now, trying to get himself going in this one.
Absolutely, and nobody from the outside is making their shots right now. It's a struggle, and if you're the Vulcan offense, you really need to start pushing that post play. It's an absolutely electric block there from Antoine Arnett. Redshirt freshman is getting in there.
Looks like that'll put the Cardinals at the line here. Trevor Braresford at the line.
You were talking about the PSAC West earlier, and you're absolutely right here. I mean, last year you looked at Gannon, and they were a team that a lot of people wrote off. Very, very middling team. Didn't expect them to do much. This year, absolutely different, leading almost all of Division II basketball in points per game. Now nationally ranked 7-0. It's a team that if you're the Vulcans, if you look forward to them in your schedule.
And even you think about there's other well-known opponents like IUP lurking around, and I mean, to their standards, you could say right now to this point in time could be considered a bit of a down year so far here with a couple of losses early, not something that they would have wanted.
No, absolutely.
And they played some pretty good sides. I mean, I can tell you sitting there when I watched during their Thanksgiving weekend classic when they played the Stack Spartans, I mean, that was quite a contest between those two, and I don't think anybody expected Stack to come out and really punch them in the mouth like they did, but that's exactly the kind of things that you've been seeing for IUP.
No, absolutely, and year by year, they're a team that's making the Atlantic Regionals.
Even hosting it.
Even hosting it, yeah. This has been a team that's been nationally acclaimed as one of the best programs in Division II, and 5-3 does not seem like a terrible start to the year. For most programs, It actually seems pretty good.
It would be something that you would want.
No, yeah, but for IUP, this is a bit of a down year, and they're on a 4-game win streak right now, third in the PSAC, as most of conference play is about to start here the upcoming weeks. And I think if you're looking at the PSAC West, you got a few teams to worry about here. Is even the Griffins at Seton Hill have improved. Clarion, which only won one game last year, now off to a nice
Johnstown was a tournament team last year, struggling a bit here early, but they'll have time to turn it around.
Yeah.
That rattles around and drops. Cardinals pushing the 50 mark here in the first half, and there's still 8 minutes left to play.
This is an unexpected offensive push here that I was not even expecting in the slightest.
Always keeps you on your toes here on the way inside. Foul call. Should put Arnett at the line. Might have a timeout here on the floor. We do, so we'll take a timeout as well here. 7:55 left to go in this first half. 43-23, Vulcans trail here on the PSAC network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have two great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Welcome back here inside the Convocation Center. The hot shooting Cardinals, we were talking about this during the break here. Let's bring this up while you're at it here. 3-point wise, we knew they've been doing great, but I mean, you checked in on it and you saw what?
90% from the 3-point line, which is something, that's not a number I have.
You don't really put those two together normally.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
That's not two jigsaw pieces that fit together most of the time, but that's 9 of 10.
But I'm not shocked. Everybody on this team has been absolutely lights out from the 3-point line. I mean, it's not just. I was expecting Marcus Johnson to come out here and absolutely dominate the post play, but he shot 2 threes and made both of them. Murray shot 2 threes. Smith shot 1. Ely shot 4. All of them have made them. Only Gabbard here has missed one of his 3-pointers.
Arnett gets 1 of 2. He's about 75% on the year. He'll settle for 1 make. Let's see if this defensive side here has found a way to solve this Cardinal puzzle here. 3 coming again. We'll see if they continue with it. Maybe that's the miss you needed to see here.
And that's absolutely the momentum shift you want to take if you're the Vulcans. They have been struggling here to score, and they absolutely need something in this possession if they want to start their comeback victory.
I don't think a comeback victory already here early. I like the confidence. Can't get that one to fall, though.
No, and I think if you're the Vulcans, hate to say it, but Jermaine Hall is off to a cold start here, 4 for 11. You need to start following the ball out a bit more as
turnover here, heading the other way. Collins with it, one-on-one. Gets some space and can't finish it, but able to clean that one up there is McClurg following up.
Yeah, and a good play there by McClurg, able to slow himself down there, maneuver himself up. Nice putback, and it's possession Vulcans needed.
To start somewhere and start chipping away at things, rolling their way inside. Foul here. This one should be staying on the floor.
One of the things I think hurting the Vulcans early on was the 2 fouls of Bryson Lucas. Had himself a bit of a game last Sunday, but not able to come back here and recover himself. And 2 early fouls puts the Vulcans at a disadvantage.
Quick feed inside. And right underneath, able to drop that home.
Yeah, caught Zion Collins off guard, passes it between his back, and bad defensive possession on the side of the Vulcans that you want to make up for here on this offensive side.
It's been tough sledding so far. 1 of their last 6 dropping. 1 of 9 from 3. Got 9 of 11 on one side and 1 of 9 on the other. 2 different tales here, but there's a makeover in the corner.
Yeah, not from the man you'd normally think. If I think of three-point shooters on this team, I'm thinking of McClurg or Polak, but Caden Hanna, the steady defensive rebounder, makes himself known here on the court.
Might be a spark plug here moving forward. Rotating with it here, poked away. Retreating back to go get that one. Ely with it. Turning, spinning. Just kind of throws that one up there and it finds its way home.
Yeah, and Ely, again, he can't miss right now. 4 for 4 from 3 and 4 for 5 overall. 12 points on the floor.
Foul here. That was McClurg hitting the deck.
Yeah, Beresford got a little too pushy there and put his body in. Dalman Alexander's going to come in here, and it's one player that I think can make a bit of an impact here, the 6'7" freshman out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's been a bit of a bench player here so far this year, but in the times he has come in, he's been a nice defensive presence on this post play. He's provided some good offensive output.
We'll see if that has a spark here. Just really throwing anything towards the wall to see if it sticks here in this one. Finding yourself down in that spot. Would have been a good looking play there, just too hot to handle on the way inside.
Yeah, and It's been a tale of this Vulcan offense. They've just been too hot on the ball, moving it around too quickly, not able to find their targets. That almost hits our good friend JJ on the out-of-bounds line.
Yeah, heads up over there. 5.5 left to play here in the first half. Breezing right along in this one so far here. Partially thanks to this Cardinal offense. Perhaps maybe they'll start cooling down a bit here towards the end. Here's Johnson. It's almost like he absorbs that kind of contact and can actually knock it down better after that.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane what he's doing when you think they're going to go cold, and just Marcus Johnson finds what he wants there in the post against Jermaine Hall, and another point.
3 coming from the near side. Will it be? Not this time. Here come the Cardinals. Tenacious down there on the glass, just putting together a Christmas-wrapped first half here. You can't ask for much more than that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think if you're Coach Sankum going back into the locker room after this first, you're going to have a lot of words, or actually maybe not even none at all, because I don't even know what you say to stop this three-point shooting right now.
Here's Johnson. Look at this. And he cannot seem to miss, folks. Gonna have to open up the old Cardinal record books here and start digging around a bit.
I mean, it's exactly what I said there. The Nikola Jokic, almost no effort. And
looking for an answer here on the inside. There's a quick 2 from McClure.
I am
one of the good things that you're seeing right here is the fact that they're finding ways to answer quickly like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, if you're the Vulcans, you absolutely need to speed up here. They're now down 21 points here with 4 minutes left in the first.
Crowd looking for a travel here, not going to get it. Second chance turning, firing, dropping.
I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but this shooting is absolutely insane. They're now shooting 21 for 31 from the field, 67%. The Vulcans not having any answers so far here.
They'll try to work down low again. Good backdoor find there and able to rise up and drop that one down. Not quite throwing that one down with authority, but they'll take that there regardless.
Yeah, and that's what the Vulcans need. They need to take these easy points. They need to keep attacking this post. The shots from the outside have not fallen for them. 2 for 11 so far tonight.
That'll be heading the other way here. Maybe a bit of a surge here late with about 3:07 left. Looks like another media timeout, so we'll step aside once again. Final 3 minutes coming up here from the first half. Vulcans trail 54-33 here on the PSAC network.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you'll really want to come back.
Welcome back here, folks. Vulcans trying to claw their way out of a pretty big deficit here in this one. 54-33 they find themselves after the Cardinals got started hot and often from 3, and they continue to work it.
No, absolutely. I mean, they were moving the ball around quickly here to start, and you think they would cool down, but absolutely not. As Marcus Johnson, 19 points to start off here, and I know that you were wondering about their program records, and honestly, there has to be some sort of record here that they have to be getting close to touching here. It's 54 points, and we're not even done with the first half here. Insane shooting here on the side of the Cardinals.
Not a whole lot to be found, but that's what the halftime portion's for. I'll see if I can dig up anything interesting later. Still 3 minutes left here before we close the book on this first half. Here's Collins on the way inside, and he drops that one in there. Not an easy take, and a chance for one more.
No, that's absolutely what the Vulcans need to start doing. As I mentioned, they need to attack that post and see if they can draw out these fouls. That's a big part of their game, especially KJ McClurg. He's very good at getting himself down in the post and drawing the fouls. Same with Zion Collins. So they need to keep attacking this post and hoping to get these foul shots.
He's got it. The old-fashioned 3. And look to keep stacking things up here. Good thing you're seeing here, this bench for this Cal side, not out of it here by any means, and that's a big thing that not a lot of people think about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, these guys always have a lot of energy no matter what score is, even if they're getting blown out or they're leading by 60. This team plays with energy, plays with confidence.
Speaking of energy, swinging it through, looking for a good chance. Stepping back, McClurg. Long 2, drops it.
And that's a play you love seeing from him. He does it a lot. And when he does, it's never a sight for sore eyes. Beautiful putback there from McClurg.
Small 7-0 run here for this Cal side towards the end of the first half. Big man trying to go to work here. Johnson with it. Hall in there defending. Tried to feed inside. There's a foul. I think they're going to get Arnett with that one.
Yeah, and that was great defensive play by Hall. He was noticing the heavy-handed movement of Johnson, tried to get himself in there and force him to throw that ball where he didn't want it to, and not able to find what he's wanting as Arnett gets the foul down in the post.
Two minutes left here in this first half. Cardinals with it. Looking for movement here to get this one back in. They finally do. It's William Gabbard with it, 21. Left it short off the front, tries to chase down his own shot. Here they go the other way in transition with it. Here's Slaughter, and he falls in a heap underneath the basket. Second chance foul drawn.
Yeah, and if you're DJ Slaughter, you're a bit mad there. I think he wanted to get that foul as he threw himself a bit more in for the contact. Not able to find it, but KJ McClurg able to find that contact as he so usually does here, as Cardinals now up to 6 fouls here in the first half.
McClurg back at the line. Had one chance earlier. Made good on it. We'll see what he can do here. First is good. Waiting on the secondary. Long look here. Got both.
And the Vulcans now cutting this lead down to 13, which the offensive output coming to start to life here is absolutely what they needed, as McClurg now up to 14 points in the quarter.
Hot feed inside and kind of got caught napping there defensively a bit.
Yeah, and you've seen that a bit here tonight where they're just losing it in the post as the communication just not there for the Vulcans. And Coach Sankum now starting to get a bit fired up here. He's a bit angry at his players.
They'll hear about it, I'm sure, at the half.
There's one thing I've learned in my short time here at Cal is that the campus is small, Gold Rush is okay, and Coach Sankum will always scream.
That's 3 things. I'm going to say 1, and look at that. We got 2 bonus things. Not a bad thing.
Oh, no, it's always good to have more than less.
Might be waiting on a sub here. Some kind of communication going over here towards the far side. Ellie chatting with the bench, and I'm not sure if one of the officials is confused with what's going on here. They're with the scoring table. Coleman still waiting at the line after missing that first one.
I'm not quite sure what that one was about, but 2 of the Wheeling players here, Sean Ely and Marcus Johnson, up to the 2-point figures. Ely at 16, Johnson at 19. Both have absolutely been shooting lights out here. The Wheeling defense has been something to talk about too. Absolutely forcing that 3 ball that has not been working for the Vulcans and forcing them to take bad shots.
They'll look for another quality make here towards the end of this first half. Here's Collins scooting through and able to drop that home. Found himself pretty open down there underneath.
Yeah, and again, it's what I've been talking about. The Vulcans need to keep attacking that post. That's where they're getting most of their points. Is going to get a timeout here from the Wheeling Cardinals. Excuse me.
And looking around the PSAC here on a Wednesday evening, a lot of non-conference action going on down this slate. Gannon hosting Salem out of West Virginia. Seton Hill on the road at Glenville State. Bit of a close proximity battle between Edinboro and Deauville up in Buffalo, and then Mansfield visiting Roberts Wesleyan. That one in Rochester, not that far for the Mountaineers.
No, and it's probably getting to around at the end of the added conference play early on.
You're not going to see much more.
No, you're not, and it's part of the year where now I think things start to get very interesting, where you want to see these in-conference matchups, especially, I mean, if you're a fan of the Vulcans, you want to see how they perform against the upcoming games they have against Shippensburg, Lock Haven, and eventually Mansfield down the stretch.
A January 6th matchup looming pretty large when Gannon comes to town.
Yeah, and that's going to be an extremely tough one. As I mentioned earlier, that wasn't much of a team to scoff at last year, but now you absolutely have to mark that day in your calendars. Oh, absolutely. One of the best and highest scoring teams in all Division II basketball.
Working around the world here, the Cardinals looking for something, running out of time here. Poked away. Shot clock stopping at 5. Inbound coming here from the near side. Got to work quick here. 4, 3, firing away. Left short, flick back out. Good play there. It was Smith, and there's a foul.
Yeah, and the fouls here, it's weird because it's you see now there's 6 fouls for your Vulcans and 7 fouls for the Cardinals, but it feels as though...
Check that 7 aside.
Or 7 aside, excuse me, and it feels as though there's been none. The game's been very
I
fast.
agree.
It's absolutely felt like all the fouls have played no part in this game, as it's just gone by in a flasher with 41 seconds left now.
Coleman on the 1-1, drops in the first. Secondary coming. Getting set. Dug in, firing away. And that falls on through.
The Vulcans, small little note here, have not lost a game to Wheeling in their entire existence, as they've gone 4-0 at home against them, losing 2 games on the road as well. So if you're the Vulcans, you hear that. Let's hope
there's not a first time for everything.
If you're the Vulcans, you hear that stat, I think you get a bit more motivation to come out of the gates here in the second half.
They will have to shoot here, will the Vulcans. Time winding down. 5, 4, stripped. Cardinals the other way, about 12 seconds to work with here. They'll opt for 3, and why not? But starting to cool off a bit more here. 6, 5, and tried to move a bit too quick. Kind of sensed that 5 seconds left on the clock.
And Jermaine Hall Jr. thought he had Zion Collins on the same page. The communication just wasn't there. No look pass off to the side goes out of bounds, and that gives the Cardinals another chance to score here at the final 5.
Out with it here. Ely lets go of it. Tried to leave it short for a bit of a lob look here, but that'll bring us to the halftime mark here. 57-42. The Cardinals in front here. And I mean, if you had to put some final thoughts and put a bow on this first half, Nate, what are you thinking over there?
The three-point shooting's been insane for the Cardinals, but I think for the Vulcans, you don't answer back with that 3-ball. You keep attacking the post game, and you hope your defense is able to come out communicating well and have a good second half.
We'll step aside here. When we come back, we'll get ready for the start of the second half of this one. Vulcans trailing 57-42 here on the PSAC network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Getting set here for the start of the second half. Cal U and Wheeling here from the Convocation Center, 57-42. The Cardinals with the lead at the break. Colin Kirkwood and Nate Kurtz with you here, and Nate was a hot shooting first half for the Cardinals, but starting to cool off a bit there towards the end.
Absolutely. They went 10 for 15 from the three-point line alone, 21 for 36 from that in that first half. The Vulcans only 2 for 11 from the three-point line while shooting a solid 17 for 33, nearly going even there. And looking into the Wheeling stats for this year, 13 is their highest three-point field goals made on this year, almost beating that tonight here with 10 in the first half alone. That's been the story of this first half, is that three-point shooting on the side of the Cardinals.
Cal U struggling offensively here in that first half. They were just trying to get their feet under them. I mean, they closed out on a good small run there, made 5 of their last 6 in that first half to get things going here. But what are they going to have to do to get themselves in the right place heading forward?
What I said at the beginning, really throughout the entirety of the first half, was to just keep attacking the post. They weren't really doing that until the end of the first. And you saw they went on that nice little run there. They were drawing fouls.
It started to work out there.
Yeah, and I think also getting Bryson Lucas back in the game has been a key player on this Vulcan team so far this year, averaging 10 points per game, almost leading the PSAC in blocks. He's in the top 5, and losing him early on to 2 fouls, not something you want. And I think also you just wanted to see if the Cardinals here just cooled down on their shooting. They kind of did at the end of the first, but we'll see if that's continuous as we head into the second.
Non-conference action here. A bit of a break until December 18th, Monday, against the Shippensburg Raiders in that East-West crossover action coming up here. A pair of those, 18th and the 19th. Lock Haven and Shippensburg coming to town later on. Those should be a good pair of games once we get this one wrapped up and in the books and start thinking about moving forward a bit.
Yeah, and I think if you're the Vulcans, though, you're looking at a 15-point deficit, and it's definitely not pretty. I think it could be better.
Oh, of course.
At the same time, it could most definitely be worse. I mean, if you look back to Sunday, the Vulcans,
think about it. If they didn't cool off, things could have been way worse at the end of that first half.
They were down 21 at one point, and I know lowering it down to 15 still isn't great, but it's still something definitely worth noting. And that upcoming schedule they have here, they're facing some good teams. I mean, Shippensburg is nobody to scoff at. Westchester currently leading over in the East as well, and Mansfield probably the weakest opponent they'll be facing on the side of the East in this upcoming stretch.
Bound directly in front of where we're seated right now with Collins, and the Vulcans with it, and here we go as we kick off the second half. Collins immediately trying to attack the basket, rolls away, off the cut, turning, laying that, perhaps, can't get it there for Lucas.
Yeah, and first play of the game was attacking the post, not working out directly. Lucas did have the open kick out to Hall on the outside, but Hall not doing so hot here to start off the game, 4 for 11 in the first half.
Johnson with it here. He was the cheat code, if you will, towards the end of the first half, the entirety of the first half. 19, he's 8 of 8 from the field. He still hasn't missed yet.
Yeah, we were talking during the halftime. We were thinking one of the only ways to stop him would be to double him. And as you saw there, they tried that action absolutely. And just got a bit too handsy and gets them a foul early on.
Popped back into play. Here come the Cardinals. Out and around they work. Johnson calling for it. He's got it again. He'll try to walk the line down there. Might see a double brought. And there he goes, right inside. Walking it in and slapping it off the glass. Yeah, he's got 21.
His appearance is a bit deceiving. He's still very shifty for his size.
Yeah, he can get open quick.
Yeah.
It's quick feet down there. Good thing to have down in the post. 3 coming. Cardinals grabbing the rebound.
And again, that's something that's hurting the Vulcans a bit, is their lack of offensive rebounds. One of the worst teams in the PSAC when it comes to it.
They'll try to bring a double here, but lucky break as that 3 was off. Off to the races with Collins. He'll kick out. Swinging it straight through, and that was the right place to be for Lucas. Once again, we've seen this. These passes a bit too hot here. Foul here.
And it's what's hurting the Vulcans the most is playing too fast. It was working against Chestnut Hill last Sunday, but that was a far, far less skilled team than you have here in Wheeling. They didn't nearly have the firepower as you are seeing from the Cardinals and Sean Ely and Marcus Johnson. And now they're struggling against this Cardinal team.
Here's Collins, bounce feed over. McClurg almost lost it, gets it back, and really struggling to hold on to that ball here.
Yeah, and Coach Sankum, I just saw him. He's shaking his head. He's not liking how his offense is moving the ball right now out of the gates.
They're running out of time here, 4-3. Able to scoot that one in home late there for McClurg.
I think along with attacking the post, that's one guy you want to start feeding the ball to a little bit more is Cajun McClurg. He's been the steady hand on this team so far this season alongside Bryson Lucas.
Johnson, will he miss for the first time? And there it is. I didn't think we would ever see it. And he does finally miss from the field. Markham is 9 of 10. 3 coming. Knocking it down is McClurg.
And what I just mentioned, cutting the deficit down to 12 now, it's what they need, and the life is starting to come alive here in the Convocation Center as the bench is now starting to come a bit into action.
It's about a 60% three-point shooter getting loose over there. We'll see if that continues in the second half. It'll be big for that Cal U side. Off the hop. Spinning away from it here, 10 to shoot for the Cardinals. On the way inside, will they find something there? Slick feed. Johnson trying to tip it home. Look at it bouncing around here, playing some beach volleyball in the Convocation Center. That stays with the Cardinals. Here's Ely scooting through, losing his matchup, and able to clank that home.
And that's surprising. Lucas is the one guy you probably don't want to go against in the post. As I mentioned earlier, one of the leading premier blockers here in the PSAC as a whole. Easily able to snake his way past him and score that easy bucket.
Held up top, out and around they work. Off the rotation. Here's Lucas for 3. Remember, the Cardinals takes a dive over there in the corner after that. Might be Jermaine Hall picking up something out of that scrum.
Yeah, Jermaine Hall trying to go up for that putback rebound, not able to find it, and his momentum going in the way there and knocking down the offending Cardinal.
Cruising up the floor here, Ely with it again. Looking at Johnson perhaps, and there they'll try to throw it forward, threw that a bit too far forward. Now they'll try to stretch the floor again, and just trying to save it here. Nate, I think they're moving too quick.
Yeah, and it's what I've been saying is Marcus.
Look at this as Johnson stops and pulls up for 3. Talk about cold-hearted there.
And he's too hot here tonight. He's only missed one shot, 24 points here tonight at the Convocation Center.
Here's Collins out, Jermaine Hall trying to get back to it here, and that was about halfway down, and that's just the indicator of his luck tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had no luck against Marcus Johnson here tonight, defending against him, and he's had no luck on the offensive end as well.
Ely lets it float. McClurg pulls it down. On the floor for Slaughter. McClurg's got it, trying to shed his matchup, spins it back off again. Collins thought about it. He'll settle for another longer 3. Not sure if that's going to get it done.
No, and it's not. And again, looking off in that first half, we were talking about how the Vulcans are struggling from the three-point line. And again, Cajun McClurg hitting the 3rd three-pointer of the night off of 16 attempts. On the other side, Wheeling, 11 for 17.
You saw there a bit of a defensive switch. Didn't end up mattering. But Lucas switched over there to work on Johnson.
Yeah, and I mean, that was working early on in the first half when Lucas was still out of foul trouble. But, you know, he got those 2 early fouls on, had to be taken out, and eventually had Jermaine Hall on him for the most part of the game.
Collins catching and shooting and able to knock it down. We'll see if they can start chaining together 3s off that.
And we're now seeing a bit more of an even sort of battle here as the Vulcans now starting to find a bit more offensive life within them. It's a bit of a struggle here as Johnson's been absolutely dominating.
He palmed that one away, out of place, and some of the bounces that I've seen this ball taken for this Wheeling offense are just surprising to say the least. They're able to get that in the right place to knock it down.
Yeah, and it's a testament to this defense as well. This Wheeling defense has been able to absolutely shut the Vulcans down. Collins
again for 3. Just off the front of the iron and back the other way, and 69-50. Here's Johnson in the near side with it. Hall pestering on defense. Look at that. He steals it right out of his hand. There he goes. They have numbers, 3-on-2, able to lay it off. And not an easy finish there for Slaughter.
A nice fancy play there. The nice steal there on the side of Hall. A little bit of an underhand pass past the legs of the defender over to Slaughter, who rolls it up there for a nice layup. And this is a very weird tale here for the Vulcans, who've been holding their opponents to 22% from the three-point line on the season.
Three coming, stepping into that, left it way short. Look out, JJ. Gonna have to check in to make sure JJ's all right over there as we jump into this media timeout. 69-52. Vulcans trailing here on the PSAC network. Almost got him.
I was not.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you'll really want to come back.
And welcome on back here, 69-52. Vulcans trying to chip their way back into this one in a non-conference matchup with the Wheeling Cardinals.
Yeah, and after a quick media timeout, we find that JJ's okay. Absolutely.
He's all right.
Fine, yeah. I'll make sure he's nice and taken care of tonight. I'll make sure my roommate gets to bed and
what a great friend.
He's nice and healed up. Oh, absolutely. We love Michael here at CUTV. We love the man. And, this Cardinal team has been absolutely electric, and what's fascinated me, as I mentioned before we went to the media timeout, is this Vulcan defense has been holding their teams to less than 40% from the field in total, holding the three-point line down to 20.
Good backdoor cut there to lay that in for McClurg.
And again, as I mentioned a bit earlier, was that McClurg was the one guy you want to keep feeding this ball here, as he's now up to 21 points on the night. The Vulcans as a whole struggling as they're down here, 69-54.
Cardinals look to cycle through here again, working it out and around. It's Coleman Jr. off the hop, thought about a three. Murray fires away, too long. Bit of a hit there going after it, a couple of hits here, still trying to claim that ball. Big fight from Murray, and somehow getting in close there. Coleman bats it up in the air and just able to fire that one away. Here comes Collins, and taking us to Jam City here as Collins throws it down.
Yeah, and that's the energy swing you want there, and a nice inclusion of Jam City here tonight. And again, down 13 now. They had this lead down to 12 at some point, going on a little bit of a run here to equalize it.
Always a good time when you get to visit Jam City at the Convo Center as the Cardinals looking to respond. Here's Ely. He'll pull up for three, and cold-blooded knocks it down.
And again,
not something we want to see continue here in the second half.
They have now equalized their mark for three-pointers made on the entire season, as their highest was 13 on the year, and they've now hit that, and we're not even halfway through the second.
Outside, three, looking for an answer. That's off, and crashing the boards there a bit too quickly. Couldn't get a hold of it. Back the other way they go.
What I'm noticing here, too, is this fast break. The Vulcans just aren't able to stop. Now, yes, the Cardinals do usually end up slowing it down, but they usually end up losing a man or two that's slowing this defensive hold a bit down.
Harris Jr. for three. That's off. Big 6'7" freshman out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Big frame down there beneath the basket as Johnson's taking a seat, but he's not going to be gone for much longer. Foul here, and he's getting ready to check back in over there on that far side.
And what a beautiful pass there on the side of Zion Collins. Didn't even need to use his eyes, already saw it.
Timeout on the floor, so we'll take a timeout as well. 10:57 left to go in this one. Vulcans trying to get back into this, trailing 72-56 here on the PSAC network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have two great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Back here courtside, about 10:57 left to go in this second half. The Vulcans trying to cut into this 72-56 deficit.
It's been a story from the side of the Cardinals here. I don't think either of us expected coming into this matchup for Sean Ely or Marcus Johnson to go off the way they have. Johnson 10 for 13, 24 points. Sean Ely not far off himself, 9 for 14 for 24 points. And on the side of the Vulcans, there's only really been two guys who've been able to find the net consistently, that being Zion Collins, 15 points on the night, and KJ McClurg, the ever-so-steady hand, 21 points as well.
Arnett getting square at the line here. He's 1 of 2 so far this evening. Bit too much on that one towards the left side.
Yeah, and that's the redshirted freshman that didn't get to play last year, and definitely I think could have helped them in their PSAC championship run, but, you know, coming in to today, he's been very helpful.
He'll be wheeling ball after this. The Cardinals trying to spoil the fun here on campus. First time this Vulcan side's been ranked since 2008. And a lot has changed since 2008. I mean, you turn back the clock to that time. Pittsburgh Steelers were still winning Super Bowls. The Penguins winning Stanley Cups. And you said you were what, 4?
I was 4. I was still barely learning how to walk. Even today I still struggle.
Foul here and tried to get the roll to lay that one in there. And they'll just have to settle for the pair, Will Lucas.
Yeah, and it's fouls starting to finally go in their favor, which was something that kind of struggled the first half. Was yes, the Wheeling Cardinals were getting fouls, but they weren't getting those shooting fouls, which is something they absolutely needed here to try and catch up in the points category.
Here's Lucas on the first. Unlucky there as that one rolls right back out. He's shooting about 70% on the year. That's a sample size 12 of 17 before that miss. Trying to lock it in here. Can't get either.
No, and it's, again, something weird because a lot of these players on the court are returning from last year, and something they were very good at was free throws and rebounding. They were good at getting these easy points and kind of struggling.
That does a lot when you think about it.
Oh, yeah, especially in a game like this where it can end up very tight at the end of the game. Those small free throws and those offensive rebounds can mean a lot in the grand scheme of things.
And the Cardinals dominating the rebound battle right now. It's 32-18 foul.
And that one's going to go against, I believe that was Zion Collins or Caden Hanna. That goes against Caden Hanna. And Caden Hanna, as I mentioned earlier, was more of a rebounding defensive player and more of a steady hand on the defensive side as he's always been here in his college career.
I was about to say a good person to have at the line here in Harris Jr. He was only shooting about 42%. But knocks that down.
I don't think that's really mattered here tonight. I mean, almost everybody on this Wheeling side has had a hot hand.
Set for the secondary now. On the way, rolls, 1, 2, 3 bounces and drops in there. $10 left to play here in the second half, and it's going to take a lot to get themselves back into this one. Not out of it yet by any means.
No, absolutely not. They still have a chance to equalize this game, even though the score does not say so.
Here's McClurg just flinging it for dear life and knocks it down.
Yeah, and of the very few players on this team that have played against Wheeling, you only have around 3 or 4 who actually have played against them in their career. KJ being one of them, 21 points in his last game, already beating that total here with 23 here tonight.
And heads up, things getting a bit scrappy here between Ely and Hall.
and really clearly upset because he thought Jermaine Hall had a bit of an after-play shove there and wanted something against him. Not able to find it. As another unfortunate sequence of events here for Hall, who's not had himself a bit of a hot night as he usually does have.
Once again cycling through. And there's the call over there on the far side. Got a bit too revved up.
One of the things I've been saying about KJ McClurg is his ability to draw fouls. It's almost magical how he does it. It's the way he's able to position himself and his movement and his ball handling. He knows absolutely how to get those roughs to move himself.
Cross midcourt here. We'll see what they can do with it. Slaughter laying for Collins. Collins laying into some contact here. Whistle stays silent for now. Good find in the corner. Let's see if Hall can knock it down. Could not get it.
No, and again, this
worked out perfect the way it was designed.
It was a beautiful pass from Lucas, too. I don't even know if you saw Hall in the corner who ended up wide open, but 4 for 13 from tonight, 0 for 6 from 3.
It's a killer line to have here, and that is knocked down by Murray. And Coach Sancombe pretty upset here with this. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well. 8:33 left to go here. 77-58. Cardinals on top here on the PSAC Digital Network.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you'll really want to come back.
Welcome on back here. About 8.5 left to play. Vulcans' time starting to become a lot more precious here in this one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, looking at the end of that first half, it was mostly just looking at, hey, we need to get this score back down to a nice, easily manageable number. And to their credit, they did. They were at a solid, like, 12 to 15 point deficit at some point, but they haven't been able to short it down any lower, and it's still remained at this almost like 15, 16 point mark, and they just haven't been able to find enough offensive output to equalize the mark, to get themselves within the sight of a comeback win.
Another foul here as that one was rolling away. It's the 5th on the Cardinals here in the second half. Hall just kind of hanging around with this one, waiting for something to break in front of him. Now he'll try to shoot over top of this one, and not an easy one to make. Maybe that'll start to build things.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hope so. That is his first shot made in a very hot minute here. Probably the first shot he's made since around the midway mark of the first. And again, as I mentioned very early on, that's a player you want to get momentum.
Picked off. Collins the other way with it. Sends it for Lucas. Back to Collins, and I think he was thinking a bit too quick there about what he was going to do with it. Still able to lay that in, though.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas definitely wanted to throw it back there to the impeding Vulcans, but I don't think he knew which one he wanted to throw it to at first. And Collins, nice easy layup there to get them more points on the board.
Murray had to kick that one back out. 10 on the shot clock for the Cardinals. And somehow able to fight through contact again. Johnson's got 26. Quick answer again. We've been seeing that all night. There's always been a quick answer on the other side of the floor after that.
And I think that's been a part of their game plan here, is even though it's
bringing the double here on the far side, and they'll get the foul. A lot of people looking for a travel here as I saw some shuffling feet over there. Timeout on the floor here. We'll take a trip around the PSAC and see what's going on here. You talked about how Gannon's a pretty high-scoring side, and they did just that. I mean, they were taking on the Salem Tigers, who not a high-flying offense, to say the least, and independent out of the state of West Virginia, currently placeholding in the MEC for the artist formerly known as Alderson Broaddus, 104-56. Gannon, the Golden Knights, getting another win.
What's crazy to think is that that's also probably one of their lower-scoring games of the year. I mean, I've seen scores where they were up to like 150 against people.
Well, I saw an opening score because I was talking about, because I had saw Glenville State on Saturday, and you're looking at it now, and I can see the
140.
Yeah, 140.
Their lowest margin of victory was 97, and that's insane to me that like they could score that many points. That's how good this team is, and it's, I mean, freshly ranked here. This is a Gannon team that, I mean, granted, you still have a few more games on your lineup before you have to worry about them, but still.
It's coming down the pipe. You got to start at least considering it here when the West play kicks off in the new year.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is a tough game. I don't realistically see a way that the Vulcans do end up coming back here, so if you look towards the future, you look at the PSAC playoffs, and definitely they're the team that I think you want to keep your eyes on if you are the Vulcans.
One other score of note from the Waco Center in Glenville. It's 25 aside, Seton Hill and the Glenville State Pioneers. 5-2 Seton Hill Griffins, and that was just a mess down there in the paint, and another foul called in. I think Hall's going to be the guilty party here again.
He is not gotten any.
Tonight is not his night.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, from the arc, he's found nothing. The inside, he's found nothing. And the call department, refs are not favoring him.
Cardinals looking to lob back in play. Back to it here for Murray. Slipping through on the rotation, Saunders Jr. with that. That's 23. Defended well. 5-4. Time winding down. 3. Able to get in close. Johnson bats it back. And that one bouncing off the top of the basket. That'll slow things down there so they can set it up to send it back the other way. But, I mean, Nate, you look at some of these rebounding numbers, you can kind of see why this box score is sitting where it is, because the Cardinals are just flat-out dominating down there in the paint, 34-18.
I mean, yeah, it's insane how they go from dominating from the outside arc in the first half to now in the paint. They've been feeding the ball down to Johnson. They've been feeding the ball everywhere else, and it's just nothing. The Vulcans cannot stop them on the defensive side of the ball, and they haven't been able to produce enough offense to outscore them.
Collins off the roll. He's fouled on the way in.
Bryson Lucas, it's been a bit of a spark here tonight where he's been challenging the refs on some of these calls. He's definitely not been too happy with them or himself. Normally one of these steadier hands on this Vulcan offense and defense. Just hasn't been able to find exactly what he wanted, especially coming off of his performance on Sunday where he dropped a nice 19 points, 3 steals, and 2 blocks.
Collins was 2 of 3 before that one dropped through this evening. Sit him at 3 of 4, and he's got another one coming. Ready for it now. The righty. Drops it in.
And another noteworthy thing here is the Cardinals have been 10-5 in their
And look at that, Hall coming up with a steal here, and he's fouled on the way up, so he'll get a chance to shoot a pair here. And maybe looking straight at the basket here will help to spark things late in this one, as he has not been to the line yet.
This is again hopefully another momentum shifter. As again with 6 minutes here, the Vulcans are still down 13. If there's one thing I know about college basketball is that it can change on a dime. So what I was just saying and you just saw was the turnovers. Cardinals are sitting at 11 on the night, but the Vulcans not able to take advantage of that.
Primary rattles home. He's only a 50% shooter. That was 8 of 16 before that one clanged on in there. You can sense it. Big one here. Another righty. Rattles home. And another foul. Hang on here, they might actually chat this one over. There's a collision down there underneath the basket, and Slaughter apparently is going to be the guilty party. I thought he was actually getting fouled in the process because he was doubled down there.
Yeah, absolutely. He was getting almost Oreo cookie down there, but not able to get himself slippery enough, and that's going to be a free throw from the Cardinals.
This is Alex Smith, number 5. Pittsburgh kid, not that far from home, missing it. Guess you could chalk that up to maybe perhaps the old ball don't lie technique there. Rotating straight inside. They were looking for the and one, but they'll settle for 2.
Yeah, and again, what I've been harping on is the ability to draw fouls. KJ McClurg so good at it, and his steady shooting as well. And I think if you want a momentum shift here tonight, you also want KJ McClurg to be at the head of that.
McClurg, 3 of 3. Should have kept my mouth shut there. Left that one too short. Trying to split the trip. Sure can. Still bringing the good fight here with 6:08 left. And I think Wheeling's lucky to hold on to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pressure now from the Vulcans starting to ramp up. I think Coach Senkum has now realized that they're at a key point in the game where if they don't start to put themselves in a better position, they won't have a chance.
It's going to slip away.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Vulcans trying to bring the double here. Ball loose. Kept alive. There's Johnson over there, back with it. A steady hand as he tries to control things here offensively with his 26, and he's done just that throughout the entirety. He slips his matchup on the way inside and couldn't hold it. Thought that might be headed the other way, but it will stay Cardinal ball here, 9 on that shot clock.
Yeah, Johnson just loses it. The ball was trying to get fed inside to him and bounces off of Lucas out of bounds.
Back to Johnson. He'll go to work on Lucas. Turned over. Here comes Collins with it, trying to control it, pushing up for McClurg. McClurg laying into the contact. 2 more coming up.
And it's these small little plays here that keep matter.
We're about in double bonus territory here, so keep in mind, 1 more to go.
If you look on the board as well, it's now 2 players on the side of Wheeling. We're now into the 3 foul mark, which seems
minuscule. Have to pay attention to that.
Oh, absolutely. When it comes to a later point in the game, that's something you need to worry about.
That's in there. Coleman for Wheeling. He's got 4. Both dropping into the line, and just like that, we got a 9-point game.
Yeah, it's single digits, which is something that coming out of the half, I don't think I would have been saying.
The Vulcans have not led in this contest yet. Just to put this in perspective, the largest lead for the Cardinals was 23 when it was 54-31.
That seems so distant ago now that it's 70-79 here. And it's weird that this game feels like it's going by so fast.
Trying to push this one back to double digits here is Ely, earning the 2nd. It's his first try of the night, actually. He's a good shooter, about 81% for that young man. He's got both.
And that's been one of the stories here tonight. Alongside Johnson has been Sean Ely, who early on in that first half was not missing at all. He was taking those threes from the outside of the arc like it was nothing and didn't even worry about it as almost every single one of them went in.
Anything possible here in this final 5.5. Got to cut down on those turnovers there.
And absolutely one of the worst times to have it happen.
And I will say, in terms of cutting it down, they've been very good at holding on to that basketball. That's only going to go in as their 6th turnover of the evening.
Yeah, which is surprising. Like they've struggled a bit this year so far with keeping the ball.
Meanwhile, the Cardinals turning it over 12 times. Coleman tried to get that one, ends up back out from Murray. Turned over again. Looking at Collins looking to fill the lane on the way up the floor. Leans into the contact, drops it in. Surprised he didn't get the call there, but they'll still live with the 2.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely what they wanted.
And almost stole the ball away there. It stopped things, but I think they're saying that they didn't get started in the right fashion, it looks like. I'm pretty surprised here myself. Coach Sandcombe pretty fired up. Got to watch yourself here. And they might chat this one over, it looks like, because in theory, you would think that that should hang on the board.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. If the ball is touched and goes in bounds, that's a live ball. But I think the arguments from the referees here is that they didn't officially get it set.
That is just peak unfortunateness there, to say the least.
Seeing how things have played out for the Vulcans tonight, can't say I'm too shocked. Absolutely no calls have been going their way. It seems like every moment that could be going in favor of them just has not, and no balls have dropped in their favor.
We'll see if they can snatch it again here. Lobbed in for Johnson. He's got it. Efficiently up the floor. Swings back out for Johnson. He's the guy you want to have the ball in. Lucas almost had it.
I'm liking what I'm seeing here from the Vulcans now, really pushing this defensive pressure up as they're forcing Cardinals here into some bad.
Yeah, they have to think twice out there. Look at that, almost lost it there again with the double broad. Lucas getting rung up here.
And I don't know about that one. I think I've seen far more heavy hits and far more pressure in this game. I don't know if that one necessarily was the correct call on that side, but...
And you know, just when you think that putting Johnson at the line perhaps could be like the chip in the armor, you could say, he's an 86% shooter. Makes good on it. All-around game.
That also sucks for the Vulcans, having Lucas go down here in these final 4 minutes. Has not fouled out yet, but it's the worry that he is at 4 in that territory.
You'll have to play sparingly with him for this final 440. He's going to be a huge loss defensively, especially if he was the one trying to keep Johnson at bay. We've talked about how Hall has struggled with that. Here's Collins charging in, trying to go past Johnson. Had to kick that back into the middle, and that should stay on the board here as that was rolling around, and I think a member of Wheeling got their hand on that rim for basket interference. That's on there. It's 9 for Arnett as that stays in, about 4:25. Extreme pressure being brought here. Slipping past Arnett. And trying to lay that one up there. That's an offensive foul.
And that's exactly what the Vulcans needed. I mean, that was a worrying play there where the lob going up there. And I think for a second there, if you were a Vulcan fan, you were worried that Coleman was going to throw that down and shift that momentum over. But again, the ever so swift KJ McClurg able to draw on that foul.
Great spot to be in here with about 4 minutes left to play. Slaughter out and around. Here comes McClurg looking at a 3. Trying to tip that one in. Right place, right time. Good hand there from Arnett.
Yeah, and the redshirted freshman again making his presence known.
Might have a quick answer coming here. Is that another offensive foul? It sure is. Back the other way it goes again.
And that is now, I believe, the 3rd or 4th foul for Coleman here. I'm not absolutely sure, as I believe we're going to get a timeout now.
That's going to be his 5th. He's out of this one.
And that's an important player on the side of the Wheeling ball. That's somebody you did not want to lose.
You're losing a 6'8 sophomore out of Harrisburg, PA. Shout out Susquehanna Township. Meanwhile, media timeout on the floor. We'll step aside. 3:56 left to go. Wheeling leading 83-76 here on the PSAC Digital Network.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. these players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you really want to come back.
3:56 left to go here, 83-76, and sifting this out of the rubble here, we might actually have a pretty great game on our ball hands.
I was not expecting this at all, and I'm still honestly a bit shocked here. I mean, going into this game, I didn't expect Wheeling to bring the firepower out from the three-point line. As they've gone a little bit cold from the three-point line, as far as I know, in the second half, only making around 2 or 3 of them now. Excuse me, make that 4.
I mean, to be fair, this was a team shooting only about 33% from 3.
And defensively, the Vulcans have been holding their opponents to 22% on the year from the three-point line, and
things got blown open a bit here, 60%. That's 14 of 23. Vulcans got to string it together here. Collins steps into a big wall there, and Johnson. McClurg knifes inside and slaps it in off the glass, and he'll have a chance for another.
And if he makes that down, if he gets this free throw in, that'll put this down to a 79-83 point game. And again, I was not expecting this coming out of the half for this Vulcan team to bring this game back to where it is. And DJ Slaughter is now going to come out, as we mentioned. Bryson Lucas now coming back into the game, and he's going to have to play his minutes very sparingly here, as he's down now to only his last foul. And I think an important thing is Kevin Coleman, who was playing an important part defensively for this game,
knocking it down,
gets fouled out, and it's an important free throw for Cajun McClurg to make with 3:40 left on the clock.
Better buckle up here. It's going to be an interesting 3:40 on the way. Foul here in the meantime again. Arnett's got 3, and that's double bonus territory now on both sides. That's going to be a key factor the later this one goes.
Yeah, and it's absolutely fair coach Sankum. You did not want that. It's definitely going to hurt your team, especially, again, if you get in the later stage of that game, you want your players to have those fouls available, see if you can get yourself some late possessions of the ball, but not happening as Arnett comes out for DJ Slaughter.
Ely good on the first, one more coming. Knocking them both down.
And of course, it's Ely the one to do it, up to 28 points here tonight. The pair of Ely and Johnson both up to 28 on the side of the Cardinals.
Working it around here, 85-79. Look at this. Look at McClurg. He's got it on the circus finish. McClurg taking it over.
And who better than the leader of this team? 29 points on the night. If I remember correctly, this may be a new career high. Excuse me, no, it is not. His career high, 31 points, which he set at Lincoln. And I cannot say I am shocked at all. The former Division I transfer out of Maine and out of the University High School Morgantown.
Look at this. We're within 3 here, 85-82.
And matches his career high, now. 32 points actually sets his new career high.
Johnson's got it midcourt, heads up, flying through, and almost launched that. Which way's the ball headed? Vulcan ball heading the other way.
And again, what an absolutely beautiful play there by McClurg, making his presence known, forces Johnson to make a boneheaded throw there, and we got ourselves a game here.
I thought for a minute there it looks like they wanted to go quickly, but Collins looking for some movement here. He inherits Johnson. Collins almost lost it. Has to swing back for Hall. He'll tee up, fire away the long ranger, splashes home. Good time to find that to go here. 1 of 7, got his first make late in this one.
Yeah, and this is a player we've been talking
about. Lobbing it up the middle, and that one goes out of play.
And Wheeling's now starting to feel this. You could definitely see that their players are a bit shook here as the game now tied 85-85. And Jermaine Hall, the guy who's been struggling all night here, 6 for 15. He's attempted 6 free throws, missed all of them, now on his 7th, finally makes it, and we have ourselves a tie game here.
Cardinals crumbling a bit here towards the end of this second half.
I mean, 5 minutes ago, I did not see this outcome anywhere in the books.
I don't think anybody did.
No, I mean, heck, even 2 minutes ago, I still don't think this was a foreseeable future here in this game.
Not sure what we're waiting on here. Good to go. Slaughter lobs it back in. Here's Lucas giving it back around. Slaughter's got it back. A little give-and-go action over there on the far side. Collins 10 to shoot for the Vulcans. And with the hot hand, it's McClurg. Between the legs, 5, 4, 3, needs something, 2, trying to shed his matchup, rolls in there and somehow drops it home again. My goodness. KJ McClurg, have yourself a night to take this one over. Vulcans in front for the first time tonight.
And I cannot be shocked. Of course, the one man to do it, KJ McClurg. He's absolutely had this team on his hands, on his shoulders, on his heart. One of the new players out of last year, and wow, what an impact he's had tonight here against a team that I did not believe would even have this sort of offensive firepower coming off the gates.
34 this evening for McClurg. Towards midcourt, and there he is defending and trying to slip past this matchup, and McClurg's going to get a foul here. Luckily for him, that's only going to be the first. He's been playing pretty smart here, so you don't have to worry about that late in this one.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can't even say one aspect. It's just one of the many aspects, a part of his game that is just so amazing, is able to draw the fouls, but also to keep himself out of foul trouble. I mean, calling it back to last year, I believe there was only 1 or 2 games where he ever had himself a true night of foul trouble. And one of those games, actually, if I remember correctly, was the game against West Liberty in that first Invitational.
Ely now a point away from 30 as he drops that home. Chance you could see 3 individual 30-point scorers on the floor if Johnson has another make and this one falls through. 2 for the Cardinals and 1 on the Cal U side. Ely looking for 30. There it is. 2:24 left here, and we got a tie ball game. Back to it here with McClurg, and he scoots his way through, and the hot hand somehow can't finish this time.
And smart play by McClurg. He saw the inside cut available for him and easily takes it.
Kick out to the near side corner where they go into a quick offensive foul rung up again on the Cardinals, and McClurg rolling around after that. He took a pretty heavy hit. Looks like he's all right.
And so it calls me back to the bubble and Jimmy Butler. If you remember, he did everything for that Heat team, and at the end of it all, did not end up successful. But I think at the end of the day here, McClurg, no matter the outcome of this game, has proven himself to be one of the best players in this conference, one of the premier players, and honestly, all of Division II.
Up the floor. Slaughter off for Collins. Getting it off the bounce, tries to feed off for Lucas. Tossed back out. Cycling through Lucas, left alone up top, decides to charge inside, and the circus move on the way in there. Double clutching it and dropping it home. Vulcans in front. Yeah, first time, might I add. And look at the effort here immediately. They've been keeping the intensity ramped up on these inbound plays, and you're starting to see it have an effect here.
And the one player who's been making the impact for Wheeling all night, Marcus Johnson, is the one to make the mistake that may end up costing them big time in the later half of this game. 1:43 remaining. And what a beautiful play that Bryson Lucas had earlier there. He had the open three-point shot, but noticed that Marcus Johnson was just imposing himself too far on the outside, pushed his way to the inside for a nice finish.
Trying to build a small lead here with a minute 40 left. Vulcans up by 2. Cycling their way through here. Thought about a cut for Slaughter. Ends up for Collins for 3. Big knockdown. Can't get it. McClurg there. Who else? Swung back out. They can work this time again. Expect to see them jumping too early here at a good shot as they want to work this time down quick. 10 left on the shot clock. Here's Collins. 5, 4, 3. Needs something. Collins pulling up. Rolls off the front and knocks it down.
Yeah, and they had absolutely no luck from the basket arc early on.
1 minute left here. Cardinals looking to ramp it up. They'll try a 3 to answer. And look at the knockdown here. Back and forth we go. Back to a 1-point game.
57 seconds left. Pressure's on now for both teams here. If you're looking on the offensive side of the ball for the Vulcans, take a timeout and you see if you can draw up a 3-point play here. See if you can extend your lead to 2 baskets.
What a treat we have here on this Wednesday evening.
Unexpected treat. Very unexpected.
Whole lot of fun here between the Cardinals out of the MEC and the Vulcans on their home floor out of the PSAC. Wow.
I blame this one on you.
You know what? I always have been known to bring the energy and the excitement, and here it is. And that's my gift to you guys this evening, is a fun game like this.
I appreciate it. I would rather see a close game than a blowout. Love to see it.
Gotta wonder what's going on over there in that Cal U huddle. Trying to break things up here, and after a knockdown 3 on the other side from Murray.
I'm curious what's going down in that Wheeling huddle. I mean, what an absolutely, I don't want to say blown lead, but you could definitely see that momentum shift and the foul troubles that their players got into has shifted a lot of this power. And I think one thing to keep note of, and it's very minuscule with how much time is left, is Sean Ely has 3 fouls here, and he has to keep himself very, 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 very careful. It's 2 more and he's out of the game.
This is Hall inbounding from the far side. Slaughter's got it. They can work this 20 off the clock here. It'll be huge if they can knock this down towards the tail end. Slaughter's in no hurry. Trying to dodge a hand check here. Murray is in there on this defensive effort. Swung out for Collins. 5 to shoot. 4, 3. There's Collins up close. 1, 2, 3. Bounces, drops down. 28 seconds left. It's a 3-point game. Shot clock's off. The Cardinals need a 3 to tie. Ely. Don't want to give him too much space. He could be the guy to find the 3. Hot-handed Johnson. Johnson searching for a 30-point game. He's been known to hit a couple of 3s in this one. He'll try one. Contested. Look at it off the front. Vulcans have it. 9 seconds left here. Trying to hold on to it. McClurg is stacked there as he holds on to it.
And you see there the hug from Lucas. What an absolutely electric night there from both of them. What an absolutely amazing comeback this Vulcans team has put up. And
don't want to pack it up
absolutely.
Yet here. He's going to need at least one of these.
Absolutely, but what I was going to say is it's worrying because Johnson, the one who had been almost carrying this offense for the Cardinals all night long, is the one who believes he could take that shot at the end.
Needing one. Like I said, you don't want to pack it up here yet.
And
now 8 of 10 after that. Lock it in here.
The costly mistake for Johnson as he throws the ball up, and
here it is. That one falls in there. So 7 seconds left, 4-point lead. Vulcans clawing back here. Wheeling pushing it up the floor. 3, 2, 1. Stepping back. Ely for 3. It's not going to matter here as the Vulcans fight back to win this one. 94-90. Coming back from 23 down to pick up a non-conference win here over the Cardinals, Nate.
I mean, the number 13th ranked team in the country for a reason. Coach Sankum has drilled these guys, drilled his captains into believing in themselves, believing in the energy and confidence of the logo on their chest. And I am stunned but not shocked. This team is absolutely amazing, and what a game we were treated to here tonight.
Vulcans now up to 8-0 after this comeback victory. Cardinals falling to 4-6 on the season. Next time out here on CUTV and the PSAC Digital Network, you can catch this men's basketball side against the Shippensburg Raiders, a 7:30 tip. December 18th, Monday night here from the Convo Center. Should be a good one between the Raiders and Cal U. Hopefully you've enjoyed the basketball action. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to the CUTV crew for getting us on the air. Thank you to the original OG, Gary Smith. For Nate Kurtz, my color commentator, Ivan Collar Kirkwood. Good night, California, and we'll see you again soon.